Hi, Mr. Renner. Dylan from NetSuite. Do you mind if I have a seat?
No, please.
Thank you so much. So I have a business card here for you. I know we've had some ongoing conversation. I just want to let you have this in case any of your information changes or mine. You'll still be able to find me. So, I've been going over a little bit from what we've talked about with your company and some of the reports that y'all had and everything like that. And I've come up with some key issues that I thought we've had for the agenda today. I just wonder if you want to take a look over that, be able to see what's going on with us today.
Looks fine to me.
Alrighty. Alright, do you mind if I ask any questions, take some notes today?
No.
Okay. So, the biggest thing that I wanted to talk to you about today, over this 20 minutes, is that okay if we spend about 20 minutes on this today?
Sounds perfect.
Alrighty. So, the biggest thing I wanted to talk about was some of the issues facing your company, as well as some things that we can do with other companies working together to be able to really utilize both of our strengths moving forward in the region. Does that sound good?
Sounds good.
Okay. So, with the biggest thing that I found that you and I had been talking about was an issue that your reps have been having with call reports. Does that sound right?
Yeah, we've been having an issue with the amount of time spent on those.
How's that been affecting your business recently?
Well, I mean, like when we were talking, we said that the sales reps probably spend about 2 hours a week, each one of them doing 2 hours a week on extraneous information gathering, and then the district managers, regional managers are doing up to 10 hours taking all that data that was a little weird, wonky, putting it to something we can actually use. So we got, time wasted there.
Okay, so mostly this time is being used on reports, being able to look at data and being able to make reports out of that, would you say?
Mm-hmm.
What type of advantages would you see if you were able to eliminate that time?
Well, they could spend more time on calling the vast number of practices that we're trying to call, and we have 80 reps and so many places that they're trying to get in contact with, so any extra time is useful for that.
Yeah, exactly. So the reps have been saying that the CRM systems y'all have had in the past were too much work and there were no benefits to it. Is that something you've seen as well or heard from them?
Well, they've got the way that they like doing things, and when you do multiple CRM systems and they all come back where they're not working the way that you want it to, then there's really no point spending all that money on them.
Would you say if I was able to find a way to eliminate this time that's being used on these reports and data collection, that's something that could really be seen as a benefit to your company?
Yeah.
Could you just talk a little bit about how that would go towards giving your company an advantage or being able to be beneficial in the near and long term?
Well, really I think it all just comes back to with that time we can get down more business, calling more dentists because we're having trouble selling the product anyway, even though we know it's a good one. So taking away administration time for more in the field activity would be helpful. Yeah,
and I'm glad you brought that up about the companies that you're calling in. Because we talked about it and I was able to look up about these companies and I saw that they really enjoy your product, but they all want to wait a year to be able to purchase just until their tools run out. Is that something you've seen?
Yeah, I mean, we have a great product, so we know it and they love it, but they just don't want to buy it.
And what type of effect has that had, having to wait a year? Have you seen anything negatively happen from that?
I mean, we're not making any money off people waiting.
That's true. And so I've seen a big thing with these companies that they have in common, that we have in common, is they also don't have a CRM management. And they're losing business based on that as well. They're not being able to track their customers, and the softwares that they are using are costing them about $15,000 a year. So when you talk to these clients, do they ever bring up anything like that? Do they see an effect from that?
I mean, some of them are smaller, it's a variety of sizes of practices where you could have one guy and his wife as the dental hygienist, and then some others where, 7 or 8 total staffing. So it just depends, I think, on the size of the business.
Okay, so with that, when you're talking to those hygienists and you're talking about your tools, do they ever say anything about having to miss work due to the tools that they are using now?
Well, that's the nature of the business. Everybody knows that you're going to have hand problems based on the tools, and that's why we have the supplies that we do when we're trying to sell these new cordless things, because it's good for them. They just don't want to buy it.
I was looking a little bit into the industry, and it seems like hygienists take about 11 days off a year. Is that something that you've seen working with those dentistry offices?
Mm-hmm.
And what type of effect has that had on patient rescheduling or just trying to make up time?
Well, when you're losing patients, you're not making any money. And when you have smaller practices in such a cutthroat business, you can't afford to lose many patients with the turnover rate that there is in practices.
Yeah, I was looking into that, and I saw that these reschedules, a lot of times in this business, 30% of those reschedules end up in lost clients. And for the average size that these offices that you're calling on, they're losing 181 customers a year. Does that sound about right? Because I have also been seeing that 1 to 2% of companies in this region also fail. Do you think that could be attributed to that lost business?
Probably. I mean, like I said, it's really cutthroat, so any lost revenue is a big hit to these smaller practices where they can't afford it.
Yeah, and do you feel like with your manufacturing of those goods that could actually come down and you could be able to see less practices failing?
I'd like to think so. I'd like to think we're creating product where the ultimate result of them is less people leaving work. But as long as I can sell, I don't really care what happens to these people.
Yeah, and with that, I would love to be able to show you on NetSuite just some of the things that our company could do for you, as well as some of the things that you and your reps can be able to communicate to their clients down the road.
Okay.
All right, so the first thing that we're going to see right here is your roles tab. So if you don't mind for me, if you could just click on sales, we'll start with your sales reps and we'll be able to show you just how easy it is for these your people to be able to find their customers and see their reports. So the biggest thing you said to us was that the reports were really getting in late. They were being able to accumulate data, but it was taking them a long time. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
So just to show you here, we have an entire section for their reports. And the biggest thing was their call reports that I had seen. And so we'd actually, if you can see what calls they've made and what quotes they need to close right here. So as you can see, there are different quotes right here that everybody needs to close. It'll show you where in the process you are with it and what needs to happen to get there. Do you see that being beneficial with your reps?
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds like a good way to make money.
Yeah, so they're able to really know what's going on with their customers. And for your managers as well, I'll show you a great way that they're going to be able to facilitate their data into reports instead of having to go and find information that's not always accurate to make these reports. So right here, you're going to be able to see one of our most important reports when it comes to being a manager of salespeople. It's our forecast versus quota reports. So on this side, you're going to be able to see every salesperson and see how they're coming along, and your managers are going to be able to see where those people are along the lines of how much they're selling, how much they're supposed to be selling, and how close they are to reaching those goals. So is this something you could see as beneficial to your managers to be able to save that time?
Yeah, can't hurt.
And what's something they could be doing with this time instead of being able to just look at reports and trying to aggregate data?
Well, they could be making more calls and trying to make more sales.
Exactly. So with those sales, I've come up with a strategy I think would be very beneficial for communicating for your sales rep to those dentistries that we've talked about. Is that something you want to look at today?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the biggest thing that you've told me is with those dentistry offices that I think that your people can really hit on is the customer service aspect. The fact that those people are being rescheduled and they're losing clients on that. So just right here on your customer service page, you can really look at each one of your clients. So if you just wanted to view that company right there, for the process of this demonstration, we use business-to-business sales, and yours we can definitely make it business-to-customer so you can be able to see everyone. So just by looking at this, if you want to scroll down, you're going to be able to see how many sales or times people have come into your office, their address, the relationships you have. So you're going to know what dentist has been working with them, what hygienist has been working with them. So there's no more of this rescheduling where they can get lost in the shuffle and they're taking off days and work like this. And this way, you'll know ahead of time. So you can get people to facilitate that need, and they're already not going to be missing as many days of work because of your lightweight and cordless tools. So that's the biggest thing that I see for them going forward, is being able to know exactly what's going on with their hygienist, with their dentist, and know where the customers are. So with anything that happens in business, there is going to be a price for all this. And for your company, they're going to be looking at $136,000 to get it to each one of your sales reps and sales managers. And for me, I like to look at this as a balancing act. So I'm going to have $136,000 on one side. And we've been talking, and we've talked about how much time each one of your managers and your sales reps are using on these reports. So I was able to look up, and based off the information you gave me about their wages, find that on average, altogether, that they are losing $900,000 in work hours. Does that sound right to you?
Well, I've never thought about it before, but it's a lot of money.
Yeah, and so even if we cut their time in half, I think we can cut it past that. But even if we're only doing half, you're still saving $200,000 and some odd $1,000. Is that something you could definitely see as a benefit to your company? Something you could roll back into making those sales calls?
100%.
And what type of advantage would that have for you?
Like you said, just more sales calls. Trying to make more money by using our side wisely.
Yeah, and another huge thing I thought of, I was thinking about what can your sales reps say to their dentistry. I don't want to give them a script, but I really want to give them some key points that really shows how we work in conjunction to get a sense of urgency towards your product. You said they're waiting a year. I want to pull that up to now so you can start getting those tools out the door. So I was running the numbers, and for each person, hygienist and dentist, to have an account in their office, it's going to cost them $12,384. And they don't currently have a CRM, so this might be a little new to them. But we do know that they love your product, but there's no urgency with them to wait till it's out. We, however, have shown that $35,000 for each one of those in each sales client's zone, like each practice will cost them $35,000 to have your tools and the CRM. We also saw, without that, they're losing the 182 customers a year. And we talked about how competitive this business is, and 1 to 2% fail within a given year. So I've been able to put $35,000 over here, but on this side I have loss of company. So it's kind of hard to even quantify that, but if we're talking about these smaller practices, they could be losing a lot more than that. So I really think it would be beneficial for your sales rep to really show how not only can NetSuite save their customers from leaving and rescheduling, your tools can save from their hygienists leaving work and even resulting into these rescheduling. So they're going to see happier clients and they're going to see more clients. Is that something that could really work for your sales rep?
Yeah, when you put it that way.
How could this strategy, do you think, benefit your sales reps down this road, with this free time they're going to be seeing and this new strategy?
Well, I suppose it could help both of our businesses. I know it's going to be a little weird for them to try and pitch two different products, especially when they're working for not NetSuite, obviously.
Well, that's a big thing here. That's why I want to work in conjunction with the region to show that our products do go hand in hand. Be able to show them how your company, a product they already like, works with ours in the way that we track the patients, track the client, or track the dentist to know exactly who's going to be where at all times so we can stop that loss of business for them. Okay, so I actually have a contract written up that I would love for you to take a look at today. It's just to show that our partnership going forward, just to really get those sales reps NetSuite in their hands, and we can really hone in on what they're going to be doing. So, there you go. Alrighty, and I also wanted to leave this as a hard copy in case anybody else within your company wanted to look at that today. And I can come back Tuesday of next week to really come and see how everything's going along. We can really hone in on what we want to do.
Sounds good to me.
Alright, thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.